episode 9 of iRacingTV. We start things off with some news on the upcoming build, including hosted racing upgrades and achievement awards. We also give you a first look at our new Sim World magazine and talk about the second edition of Landon Cassill's qualifying challenge. Then we're off to the 2011 Penny Arcade Expo, better known as PAX, where Kevin Bobbitt interviews Sean McDonald, the founder of Simcraft, and John Pryor, who's head of Doghouse Systems. For our how-to segment, Sean and Kevin explain the functions of the F-keys and how they can benefit you on the track. We'll continue with an interview of Sprint Cup driver and iRacer Landon Cassill about his involvement in the iRacing community, and he'll share some details about his second qualifying challenge. To finish things up, we'll have a bonus clip of Sprint Cup champion Tony Stewart driving not only the Sprint Cup car, but also the Williams and the Dallara in iRacing. All of this and more on this episode of iRacingTV.
I'm Landon Cassill and you're watching iRacingTV.
Welcome back to iRacing News. I'm Sean.
And I'm Kevin, and we've got a lot to cover today.
Let's get started, Kevin.
All right, I'm going to start things off with some build news. There's a lot of stuff coming in the new build. We're not going to cover it all here. iRacingTV is not long enough, but we are going to cover and focus on a couple of things. I'm going to focus on the new hosted session features. This is something that a lot of you have been asking for, and we're happy to deliver. First off, there's going to be many more grid spots in most of the tracks. This is really cool for hosted sessions. We'll be able to put a lot of cars on track and take advantage of the benefits that iRacing offers. Next up, flexible time slots. We're going to offer 2, 4, and 6-hour time slots that you can purchase in hosted. This will be great for short races or endurance races, whatever you're into. And on that note, we're dropping the prices. This is very cool. Essentially, it's going to be 50 cents an hour, so a 4-hour time slot will now cost you $2 instead of the $3 that it used to cost you. Very cool. This has been asked for a lot, and we're delivering. Next up, you can book your sessions now up to a year in advance. So if you're running a league, this is great. You can plan, post the sessions. All of your league racers can log right in and get going. You don't have to be there to remember to start the session at the proper time. This is something I'm going to take advantage of for sure. Another request that's come up a lot is car numbers. You're going to be able to select your car number in hosted sessions. It'll be first come, first serve, so the first person in the session gets to pick their number. Leagues will be able to deal with this on their own, and if they want to assign numbers, league admins will just have to kind of sort that out. In a future build, we hope to build in some things that would allow the admin to assign numbers to different people to take care of that. But for now, you will be able to pick your own number, which is very cool. Next up is a minor thing, but often requested, is in the drop-down menu, when you're hosting a session, the US servers will be the default. Not a big deal, but it is a big request. And finally, there'll be bulk discounts for those of you that purchase a lot of sessions. So after you purchase 4 sessions, we'll give you a 25% discount on any future sessions you purchase that month. So for example, your 5th 4-hour session that you purchase will be $1.50 instead of $2. So again, this is designed to help you league admins who are hosting lots of sessions, and hopefully you'll be able to do even more racing with your league friends. There's a lot more coming down the road for hosted sessions. Won't make this build, but we're definitely working on it. We're developing a microsite that's going to be dedicated just to league racing. You'll be able to find out more about league racing if you're not already a member. We're going to promote the league sites, so if you're looking for more league racers, this will be a great place to recruit. Lots of cool stuff on that. We're also working on more admin controls. That's a big request from all of you league admins. So we'll be adding more controls and also improving the ability to export data so that you can populate your own websites and keep points and that sort of thing. Finally, there's a whole laundry list of other things that we're working on, which I'm not going to get into, but rest assured we are working behind the scenes on tons of new things for hosted sessions. We realize that league racing is really, really big, and we want to make it the best possible experience we can for you.
Thanks, Kevin. I get to share information about the award system. This is new for this build. We listened to your feedback, and what we're going to be doing is providing awards for different iRacing achievements that you complete in Sim. If you want to look to see where your awards are, they're going to be actually posted on your personal profile page on a separate tab right next to where your certificates are developed. So the cool thing is that you can see, of course, all of your awards, and other drivers can also see your awards too. So I'm going to start with my first 10 or 12 favorites. We'll begin with the Outstanding Finish Award. This is for a road or oval official race where you finish better than 80% from where you started. The next award is the Safe Driver Award. These will be in different levels from 1 through 3, and what you need to do to complete level 3, which is the highest, is complete 10 consecutive incident-free races. Again, these are official sessions, either oval or road. Next is a award that you can win for actually not racing. It's called the Picasso. You can paint your car and be given the award. The head case is another favorite of mine. All you have to do is paint your helmet and you win the head case. Next, we've got an award for, it's called the Founder. You can win this if you joined iRacing before midnight on October 1st back in 2008. So we want to recognize those people who've been with us for a long time. Next, you can win a Draft Master Award. All you need to do is win an official race in either Daytona or Talladega. Then another personal favorite is called the I Let You Win Award for either a oval or road race. This will be given to you if you beat an employee of iRacing. So I know personally that I'll be handing out a lot of those, and so will my co-host Kevin. Moving on. The Host with the Most Award is given out to a driver who hosts between 1 and 100 races. We've got different levels there, so as you host more events, you'll be given more awards for doing so. Next, the Clean Race, either road or oval, and you can get a Clean Race Award from racing in an official event with no incidents. Another favorite award I have is the RTFM Award, which stands for You've Read the Sporting Code. So you're going to be getting that pretty easily there. The final award I'd like to share with you is the Lap Completion Award. You can get that for completing 100 laps, 1,000 laps, 10,000 laps, or 100,000 laps. Again, these are official races or time trials, and you'll be able to earn those awards in that way. So we've got a lot of other awards too that I didn't have a chance to share with you on this segment. You can read about them in the build notes, and also we'll be adding more awards in the future to additional builds. Very excited about the new feature, and I hope all of you enjoy that as it adds to your racing experience. In moving ahead, we have a few events to share with you. The first one is that we are going to be launching on iRacingTV a new magazine show, if you will. It's going to be an ESPN style show that's going to cover most of the DWC events, both road and oval. It's going to be called the iRacing.com Sim Racing World Championship Magazine. And again, you'll be seeing about 3 to 4 episodes a year about those, and we're going to cover all the action, kind of Sports Center style that has taken place in the Pro Series races, specifically the DWC Road and Oval. So that'll be pretty cool. Finally, one last event to share with you. The Landon Cassill Qualifying Challenge is back. The date is set for May 2nd and May 3rd. You'll notice that the prize purse has gone up significantly since the first one that Landon did. It's a $2,000 prize for the top driver, with an additional $2,500 to be divvied out to drivers second place down to 20th place, actually. Very neat to see that Junior Motorsports is also contributing money to the event as well. So we're excited to share that with you. Again, that's coming right up May 2nd, May 3rd. So that's all the news we have for you. Enjoy the new build, and we'll see you next time right back here. Thanks for watching.
Hi, and welcome to the PAX East section of iRacingTV. We're here at PAX East, which is in Boston. It's a huge gaming show. There's over 60,000 attendees here, so we're getting lots of demos in. We've got the Simcraft Apex Motion Simulator here. We've got support for Doghouse PCs and some awesome gaming machines running iRacing on a laptop and one of their desktops. NVIDIA's helping us out with 3D. Logitech wheels, play seats, and static chassis. So it's really a great event for us. Lots of partners helping out. We're having a good time. Hi, I'm Kevin Bobbin from iRacing, and I'm here at PAX East in Boston with Sean McDonald from Simcraft. And Simcraft partnered up with us for the show and brought us this wonderful Apex machine. So, Sean, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's a professional free-to-free or freedom full motion chassis. Building for amateur drivers, teams, several variations of this professional grade chassis. Started rolling them out to Skip Harbor earlier this year, and it's really the best sim we make.
It's great. We really appreciate you bringing it. We've had tremendous response. Everybody at the gaming shows loved it. It's pretty cool. You have a partnership with Skip Harbor now, just like we do.
Yeah.
You were telling me the other day that now they're putting them in at all their schools, right?
Yeah, we're working to roll them out. Really trying to fit simulation in general into their methodology behind teaching people car control. So they're using iRacing software, of course, and some high fidelity hardware from Simcraft to try to teach people car control in the classroom.
Great, great. And I know everybody always says, hey, what does this cost? And I know that you guys build multiple things. Can you give us a little bit of what the range is on all this stuff?
Yeah, sure. Our professional stuff ranges between 25 and 50 grand. Obviously, most consumers here at PAX can't afford a system like that. We do have a DIY enthusiast group, though, which allows us to sell our technology at its core. People to come in at about between $3,000 and $15,000 and either build a chassis or buy a bolt together from us. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility. For sim racers, they have a budget of 5 or 6 grand to get into 2 degree of freedom sim from Simcraft, and up to about 11 to 12 to start to get into the freedom.
Very cool. And where can our members find more information about this stuff?
At simcraft.com.
Awesome. Thanks very much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
So Sean, there's a lot of motion platforms out on the market today. Can you tell us a little bit about why Simcraft Apex machine is better than everybody else's?
I'd love to. Simcraft motion technology at its core follows principles of motion which map over to real vehicle dynamics. If you look at the chassis, you'll notice that the cockpit structure, the centerpiece here, is actually inside a gimbal system. Here's a pitch bearing. Here's a series of bearings here on the side of the cockpit which create a pitch axis. There's a series of bearings on the rear and the front of the system which create a roll axis. There's also a series of bearings at the top and the bottom which all intersect in a mutually perpendicular configuration to create the center of mass. The actuation system actually does very little work in terms of having to create force to move the occupant. So in balance or in equilibrium, the system can work in an incredibly efficient manner, which translates into high fidelity for the driver. There's no latency associated with turning the wheel in, expecting the car to rotate. It works because the mass is supported on the bearings, and the actuators are positioned the way that they are, so they can really work. Of course, we have a lot of software that's running as well, and of course, we're talking to the physics engine of iRacing currently in real time on the same frequency that the graphics rate is running. And what we're doing in a real-time manner is we're taking the vector data from the car and creating a position. Of course, our system has adjustability in it. You can adjust the amplitude of all the degrees of freedom. You can adjust relationships and coefficients of some of these vector data. And taking that information and then set up for this car on this track the way that that driver likes to feel it is something that we do in a matter of less than a millisecond. So the combination of all those things creates an incredible level of fidelity. On top of that, the system is adjustable in real time. So I can actually go over there on the keyboard and actually demonstrate maybe creating a little bit less roll motion on some of these high banks at Daytona as an example.
Hi, I'm here with John Pryor from Doghouse Systems. Doghouse provided a couple of PCs for us here at PAX, and great gaming machines, both laptops and desktops. And John, why don't you tell us a little bit about your systems?
Thanks. Basically, what we decided to do when we launched our company about 3.5 years ago was to really be able to cater to the gamers and be able to relate with them. One of the things we made decision-wise was on all of our desktop systems, we come standard with a 3-year warranty on all of them. And then also we wanted to apply some science to the systems themselves, rather than just market the fastest, latest, greatest processors and deck it out with as much memory as possible. We decided to go ahead and benchmark the games themselves, make it relevant for our customers so that when they go to our site, every single system that they look at on the product page, they can scroll down, take a look at the actual in-game benchmarks. As a result, it's we've been able to cater to those customers, and they've been able to relate, know exactly what they're going to get before they make that purchase.
That's great, John. I can tell you that we've been using these PCs non-stop for 3 days now, and have had zero issues. They run perfect, really high frame rates, they run cool. Everything about it's great, so we really appreciate you helping us out on the show.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be able to bring a laptop here.
One other thing, you guys build machines the way we want them, right? So whatever I need in it, we'll set it up, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming.
Thank you.
In today's how-to section, we're going to cover the F boxes, also known as the black boxes. These are the bits of information you can get in the bottom right-hand part of the screen when you're racing. Lots of really cool information in there and really important stuff to help make you a faster and safer racer. Enjoy! Here we are in a multi-class open practice session. We're going to cover the first black box, or F box, that comes up when you join a session. The F1 box shows up by default, and it has lots of pertinent information to what's going on track right now. Lap is the lap that you're completing. What are we running now? We're on our 7th lap in this session. Position. We're in 8th position, and in a practice session, position is based on your actual lap time, not where you are physically on the track. Remaining, that's how much time is left in this session. We've got just over 10 minutes to go before this session ends. Current, that's our current lap time. Running at 240 something. We were in the pits for a bit, and that's why the time's so high. Last, we'll show a lap time of the last lap that you completed. We didn't finish a lap on the last effort, so that's blank, but as soon as we finish a full lap, that'll be populated with the time. And finally, in the bottom right, best. That's our best lap of the session by time. It tells us it was lap number 2, and it was a 1:39.089. That covers the F1 box in a practice session.
So the F functions change when you're in a race session. As you'll see right now, we're using the default F1 box in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. You'll notice there's some additional information up on that box that you didn't see in the practice session. On the top, you'll see the remaining session time, which is the overall time left in the session. And then you'll go to a lap. You'll see that you're on lap number 3 with 13 laps to go. Then, of course, your position is 3rd place. New to this menu during the race is the fact that we display the ahead and behind menus. So it lets you know what driver's ahead of you and how far, and what driver's behind you and how far back. Of course, the plus indicates that they're ahead of you on the track, and the minus indicates that they're behind you.
Next up is the F2 box. This is labeled standings, and this tells us how we are doing compared to everybody else on track. We're still in a practice session, multi-class. A couple of things to go over here. On the right column is our lap times. Far left column is the place we're in, and the column that's highlighted in colors is actually your car number, and that helps identify some cars that are around you. The reason there's 2 colors highlighted here is because it's multi-class and there's 2 different classes. So by default, it shows up as showing everybody on track, and you can cycle through using the up and down arrows. So we'll cycle down, and there you can see me currently last. Hopefully we'll pick up speed and get a little faster. You can also cycle using your left and right arrow keys on your keyboard if you just want to look at a class. That's the other class that's running here, the MX5 class, and you can see just their times. Usually you might want to switch to your class to see where you are compared to the people you're actually racing. To get back, use your left and right arrow keys, and you will go back to the default and show everybody on track. And again, up and down arrow keys let you cycle through to find yourself.
The F2 standings menu changes as well during a race session. Among other information, it displays the order in which the drivers are currently on the track racing. Kevin right now is in 3rd place, and it also displays how much time behind they are from the leader. So Kevin right now is about 2.5 seconds back, and then of course the 2nd place car is under a second back from the leader, and so on and so forth down the list. Again, this displays an order that you are racing currently right now on screen. It also displays in the lower left-hand corner the current lap that you're on, and then on the right-hand side, your last lap. Again, not your best lap, but this is just your last lap time.
The F3 screen, the relative screen, is next up on our list. Think of this as a spotter. The information displayed lets you know where you are physically on the track compared to other cars. If you see me there, car number 3, above me, listed above me with a positive time, those cars are in front of me, and the cars listed below me with a negative time are behind me. So the car that's directly behind me is 14.5 seconds behind me. And the car in front of me is 20 seconds in front of me. This is a really important screen to use in sessions with multiple cars. It really helps keep you out of trouble, lets you know where other cars are. If you spin off the track, always check your F3 screen, make sure you're not coming back when somebody else is coming by. When you're exiting pit lane, same thing. Take a look at the F3 screen and you'll know when it's safe to enter the track. This is a screen that I use almost exclusively when I'm racing. Don't even worry about F1, I just want to know where everybody else is. That way I'm a good, clean, safe racer.
During a race, the F3 relative function menu changes. The most noticeable change is the colors of the drivers. You'll see that the drivers are showing up on this screen in blue and white. Yellow indicates that that is you. A white color indicates that you're on the same lap with those other drivers, so you're battling for position. When you see a blue driver, they are down a lap compared to you, so they're not an immediate threat to your position on track. And then if you see any drivers in red, they are up a lap from you. In other words, if you see a red driver, that means you are down a lap to that driver. So again, not an immediate threat to position that you're on. Also, you'll notice that in the lower left-hand corner it displays your lap that you're currently on, and then your last lap that you're on as well. So again, the menus don't change too much during the race, but there are a few noted differences.
The F4 screen deals with fuel. In cars that you can refuel, you'll see that an option to add fuel at the next pit stop. You see how many estimated laps or estimated gallons you have left in the car, and then estimated laps is below that. If you want to add fuel at your next stop, you leave the box there with a check in it. If you want to turn fueling off, you press the space bar, and that turns the box off. Put the check box there, and you can adjust how much fuel you want to put in the car by using the left and right arrow keys. Left brings it down, right puts more fuel in. You can do this while you're driving, you can do it on the starting grid, you can do it on your way into the pit box. The other interesting thing to note is that if you start fueling the car, say all the way, and you realize you only want to put a couple of gallons in, while it's fueling, if you press the space bar, it'll stop fueling pretty much instantly, and then you can get back out on track, assuming any other changes to the car are already completed. F5 deals with tires. The information here is about tires that you're going to put on at your next pit stop. All of the boxes here are checked, which means we're going to change all 4 tires. The PSI that's displayed is what will be in the new tire, cold PSI. You can toggle through the different tires to make changes by using the up and down arrows. If you want to not change a tire, press the space bar. Change your mind, press it again. If you'd like to change the PSI, On the new set of tires, left and right keys do that for you. Again, this is changing the tires that are going to go on your car. You can do this all the way up until you stop in the pit box. The F6 black box deals with tire info. Left front, left rear, right rear. The most important thing to note about this box is this information deals with the tires you just took off the car. This is not real-time data. There's no way we can give you real-time wear or temperatures. That's just not something we provide. So this has to do with how the tires were when they came off the car. Temperatures across, left, center, and right. The percentage is how much of the tire was left. So the left front tire had 91% left when we changed the tires last. The right rear had 93% left. The F7 box is your pit stop adjustments. These are things that you can adjust on your car when you come into the pit stop. Think of it as things your crew can do to your car when your car is physically stopped. Not every car has options here, and the cars that do, a lot of them are different. To make adjustments, you can do it while you're driving or on your way into the pit lane. You use the left and right keys, and you can make adjustments. If there were multiple options, you would cycle through them using the up and down keys and then left and right to change the settings. The F8 box is in-car adjustments. These are things that you can physically change while you're driving, if you're so bold. On this truck, you can change the brake bias. You do so by using the left and right arrow keys. If you had multiple options, you would use the up and down arrows to cycle through them, and then again, left and right makes the changes. Thanks for watching iRacing TV. See you on the track.
It starts out 10 years ago when, you know, and longer than that for many, running the old Papyrus games, you know, and NASCAR 2, like I got that, I ran it with a keyboard for I can't tell you how many years, you know. And it's just, and even before that, it starts out with a passion for racing, and, you know, you just keep progressing and progressing, and it's, you know, there's definitely something there. I mean, there's so many people that have committed their, you know, their life to making this their hobby, you know, so out birth this, you know, this home for all these people, and I almost compare it to, you know, Halo or World of Warcraft, like this, you know, this community. iRacing lifestyle goes so much deeper than just getting behind the wheel of your simulator or your computer or your desktop or whatever it is, and running some laps, because it's basically, you know, a room full of people that have generally a common interest, and it's your voices and your personalities, and that's what, you know, I think that's what makes it such a strong community, because it's a very real relationship with people, and that's what I love about it. You know, I love my friends there. You know, I talk to them every day, probably more than, you know, you add up the time, I probably talk to them more than I talk to anybody else, because I spend a few hours a day on my computer. There's so many extensions beyond just driving the cars in iRacing. There's so many different things, there's so many things, and there's so many things developing that are going to add to it that you know, that you'll need or want or use when you're in this community. You know, we use, actually I got like my sim boots right here, you know, that I use every time I iRace. I can't run without them. You know, you put them on and they're so comfortable, and you wear them around the house. So it's like, you know, there's products like that are out there that are just, you know, yeah, they're products that want to get into the sim racing and you know, and build a business for them themselves, but it's building sim racing in general. Like, it's all in good name for sim racing. The qualifying challenge was inspired by what I went through in 2010 in the Cup Series. You know, I had a rough start to the season and was seemingly left for dead pretty much, without a ride or without an opportunity. So, you know, I was just learning at the time what it takes to qualify a Cup car. And when you go to the track and there's 50 cars there and you got to beat 7 of them, and it's like, you know, there's 15 in this group and you got to beat 7. It's just, you know, it's so tough, and, you know, and the pressure and an hour and a half of practice and then 1 lap on the track. And what inspired me to really do something about it on iRacing was I had been testing on iRacing the whole time. I had been running hosted sessions at Michigan, you know, Bristol, Dover, Homestead, you know, like all these tracks, Charlotte, that I had been running in Texas and Atlanta. So it's like, you know, all these tracks that I went to, I used iRacing. And it actually got to a point where every week I'd get up to 60 people that had made time in my room, you know, and it's like there's a list of 60 people that came in and made a qualifying run through a 4-hour session. It's like, wow, there's something here, you know, like, and I've always, it kind of occurred to me that it's like, you know, there's a big group out there that love to hot lap. You know, some of them don't actually like to race as much as they just like to hot lap and try to make a good lap. And I'm actually kind of one of those guys. I like to get in there and just bust a lap and find a good practice session and have some fun. So it was a really good time, and I met a lot of good people through that. But it was like, man, every week in and week out, the sessions are full, and I was like, there's something here. And you know, we got to the end of the season, and I started realizing that how much my fellow iRacers, without even knowing it, helped me. You know, they were the ones, because I'm not the fastest iRacer out there by any means. And so like I don't think they realized how much they helped me, because it would push me to make chassis adjustments and find a better line, and oh man, I need to back up my corner. And it's like all those things that I was forced to learn on iRacing, they usually translate to the real car. And they, you know, when you know, like especially in a Cup car, you know, backing up your entry and picking up the throttle later and just being more patient, you know, things like that make a smoother lap. It's the same thing in real life. So, you know, people always ask me, how realistic is it to drive these cars? It's pretty realistic. Like, you do a lot of the same things, a lot of the same, you know, tricks and maneuvers and just things like that to get the car around the corner. You do the same thing in real life. So I was like, man, these guys really helped me a lot. I want to do something. I want them to see what I go through, because then you go to the racetrack, you got an hour and a half practice, and you can only make 4 or 5 runs, and then you go to qualify. So it's like my qualifying lap was my 6th lap on the track of the race weekend, and I'd never been to the track except for iRacing. So, we'd go make the race, and it'd be really exciting, and it was a lot of it I attribute to iRacing. So I came home and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do something. I decided, it was Texas weekend is when I decided I was gonna plan something. My initial goal was to have it before the end of the race season, and then I decided to postpone it to December. And Dale Jr. and actually TJ Majors, for the most part, helped me. You know, we talked about it. The first time we ever talked about it was with TJ and Dale on the plane home from Texas. And you know, we talked about it, and they thought it was a good idea, and I was like, I'm gonna put up, and it's just a stupid amount of money, $1,000 to win. I'm only gonna make them pay $10 to enter, and you know, and it was a $2,000 purse, and the goal was, you know, let's put this carrot out here and see who's got ice in their veins, see who's got, you know, the nerves to on live internet TV and, you know, on pit road in a practice session, so to speak, you know, pull out and make one single lap. You know, so many times on iRacing in these long sessions, we go out, you pull out on the track, you spin it out and crash it, you reset. You pull it on the track, you spin it out and crash it. You pull it on the track, you spin it out and crash it. You do that 10 times, and then you make one good lap, and you think you're a hero. Well, this was a true test to who the real hero is, in my opinion. It was, you don't get a reset, you can't hit the wall, you can't wreck your car, because it's like real life. You wreck your car, you don't get a reset, you're done. So, you know, we did the event, we had the prelims, had, you know, 140 people sign up, narrowed it down to 40, and Jason Loafing from California took the title. And the coolest part about it was he backed up what he had run pretty much. And that's like, that kid's got the nerves. That kid's got the balls. He's got, you know, the courage to do this and do it right. So we're going to do another one. It's going to be at Darlington, and I know I picked probably one of the hardest oval tracks, but that's the point. Like, that's, you know, that's what we want. So. You know, it's great that there's that quality of a sim that I can use it for training for the cup races that I run and the qualifying that I do every week. You know, we've got basically every track. So it's like, it's the only thing I have. You know, when I go to the racetrack and I'm competing against drivers that have run there 40 times or for the last 15 years, I don't have anything against them. I've got film, I study film, and I study iRacing. Like, I just practice qualifying runs and make laps and get myself focused. There's just so many different uses for it, I think.
From all of us here at iRacing headquarters in Boston, Massachusetts, thanks for watching episode 9.
Enjoy the new build, and we'll see you on the track.
It does in a real car too. It takes a lap to really get that over it.